Welcome back to the Larry Hembree pregame show. We're on our Where Are They Now segment, and I'm talking with 1964 graduate Bill Drake in his home in Washington, Indiana. Bill, how you doing this evening?
Doing fine, Larry. How are you?
Just fine, Bill. Bill, you've played a lot of basketball in your day. Of course, you graduated in '64. Who were some of the guys you played basketball with in high school?
My senior year, I played with Page and Bollinger, Harbison, Steve Lechty, Steve Elms. My junior year with Junior G and Darrell Smith. My sophomore year, basically the same group with the addition of Lamar's and Roy Panel, Virgil Harper. And I didn't play my freshman year, just at the end of the season I started playing.
Bill, you, of course, played with Junior G, and you guys have been good friends. 1963 had an undefeated team and went down sectional and got beat, unfortunately. What kind of year was that, playing with Junior his senior year?
No, it was great. It was great. We had a lot of fun. We were dark horse, to win the sectional and regional everything. We were upset by Washington. They just played a real terrific game, and we were off one of the few times that year that all of us were off, and we just couldn't get it together. But it was a great year. We really enjoyed it.
Now, you mentioned that you played 3 years. I guess that'd been 62, 63, 64. What was the game like in that part of the years as compared to how you see the game now, Bill?
Well, we were run and gun, shoot the ball, get the ball down the floor as fast as you can, make 2 or 3 passes and shoot real quick. Butcher stressed a lot of defense, but we were more offensive orientated than anything else.
Bill, you played in the old gym there. Did you ever get the opportunity to run those stairs in there?
Oh, I've run up and down the stairs a few times in the old gym. Yeah, that used to be one of the favorite pastimes for the big boys.
Is that something that you guys volunteer to do, or something that Coach Butcher kind of urged you guys to do?
Coach seemed to think that it would help our timing and ball handling and stuff if we could dribble up and down the stairs with half-blinder glasses on.
Well, sounds a little dangerous to me. You look in there now, that I just can't really imagine all that going on. But you've been back in the old gym over the end of the years after you've been gone?
Well, yeah. For a good while, we used to still play up there and work out and stuff up there, But after they built the new gym and everything, it just kind of went out of the way.
Bill, you played a lot of basketball, and of course, you had some great games. One game, I believe, 44, 46 points you had, and that's a floor record in the old gym. Probably
that's the old.
Can never be broke now in the old gym, right?
That's the old gym record. No, it'll never be broke. It's 44.
Do you recall who you were playing that night?
We were playing Montgomery at that time. It wasn't Bar Eva, it was Montgomery.
Montgomery. Well, yeah. I guess they'll probably hate to hear about that. Of course, now when you broke that record, what was the deal that night? Did the rim look like a big wash tub to you, or what? I mean, was you just hot? What was going on? Was you throwing them in from everywhere inside?
Well, Bar Eva was awfully weak at that during that period of their career down there. They had it pretty rough, and I was shooting the ball real well, and coming into the fourth quarter, and I remember Jack called timeout and told everybody that I was close to the record and to try to give me the ball and let me see if I could break the record. And
now Coach Butcher actually said that, huh?
Yes,
that's interesting. He, how he's that don't sound like the Jack Butcher I know, but things have changed over the years too. That's great that he gave you an opportunity to break the record.
Yeah, it was real nice of him. He did stuff like that. He was pretty tough, but he was awful fair too. He gave a guy a chance to play if he could play.
Did you ever get on the floor and practice with you guys any?
Well, there's times whenever he would show us how to make particular cuts and stuff like that, but as far as actual scrimmaging with us, he never did actual scrimmage with us or anything.
Bill, you, of course, in '64, you had a great season in '63. What was your season in '64 like?
We had a good season in '64. I think we lost 5 games that year altogether. Shoals beat us twice during the regular season, and of course we beat them in the final game of the sectional.
Now, is that when Howard Pratt played over there at Shoals?
Yeah, it was Howard Pratt and Sid Thrash and Gordy Wade and Greg Stearns. They had a real good team that year, as well as St. John's. St. John's had a terrific team that year. They won the Wabash Valley that year.
Oh, that's right. And now, how did you guys fare in the sectional in '64?
We won the sectional in '64. We beat St. John's in the afternoon game and then Shoals in the evening game.
Okay, and you, of course, moved on to the regional. You recall who you played in the regional in '64?
We played Bloomfield in the afternoon game, who had beat us 20 at Bloomfield during the season, and then we played Springs Valley, who we had beat 20 during the regular season, and they beat us in the evening game. They just shot the ball fantastically and played a terrific game.
So you guys were basically blown out of Bloomfield, knocked them off, and the team you blew out come back and got you in the regional, didn't it?
Exactly.
Well, you just can't figure out Indiana basketball sometimes, can you?
It's pretty tough sometimes, Larry. Whenever you're on, and when you're not, you're not.
There's no question about that. Bill, of course, you played a lot of basketball, and I remember just watching you play around different leagues, and, of course, everybody talked about you were a great ball player, and, of course, you had the distinction to get to play with Junior, and we all know what he's accomplished. But what did playing high school basketball mean to you, Bill?
Well, back then, Larry, there wasn't a lot of things for kids to do like there is nowadays. There probably wasn't 7 or 8 kids that had cars in high school back then. And, it was a real team camaraderie. It was just great. It was almost expected, in Loogootee that if you could play ball that you played.
Bill, did you play any other sports in high school besides basketball?
I ran track and cross country.
What'd you do on the track team? What did you run?
I run half mile.
Half mile, man, that's a grueling race, what I recall.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, especially the way that Jack wanted you to run it.
Oh, Jack was your track coach as well. No solace for you to take a break then.
No, there was no escaping. He was also the cross country coach.
Was he as grueling in track and cross country as his practices were in basketball?
Jack was as tough in any sport. They were all about the same to him. You had to give 110% and more if you could.
Well, I interviewed Junior earlier in the season, and one thing that Junior drew an analogy of between himself and Butcher, mentioning that early on they had some differences of opinion, but he said one thing they had in common was they both hated to lose, and I think that's motivated Coach through the years. It just doesn't like to lose, and really nobody that keeps score likes to lose, but I'm sure you caught Butcher in the early years. I played for him in his 19th, 20th, and 21st seasons, and you had him there pretty early, 5, 6, and 7, maybe somewhere in there. What was it like playing for him, Bill?
Well, he definitely didn't like to lose. He was such a competitor himself in high school and college both. He couldn't understand why everybody couldn't put out and love the game as much as he did. Of course, most of the players, did love the game, about as much as he did, and put out as much as they could. But he was pretty tough to play for back then.
Bill, you, of course, some stories about him are fairly famous. Did he do a lot of after practice? Did he check on you guys a lot, try to keep tabs on where you're at? And did he seem to just show up all the time somewhere?
Yeah, he had a yellow '57 Chevy that it was just hard to tell where you'd see that old Chevy at. It'd show up in the strangest of places. And
places you wish it'd never show up, probably.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Well, Bill, I tell you, I really enjoyed talking to you. Every chance I get to see you, and it's always good to see you around. And I know you're down at Washington now. What's been going on here lately for Bill Drake?
Well, I still try to watch a few of the high school games and stuff. Larry, I really enjoy, athletics. Once it's in your blood, it's always in your blood. And of course, I'm a big college basketball fan. I like the pros, but college basketball is my favorite. I watch a lot of NCAA stuff.
Who's your favorite team you follow?
Well, I'm kind of partial to Indiana teams.
We've been on tough times here lately, haven't we, IU fans? But
well, yeah, we're kind of in a little predicament right now, I believe. I don't know what they're going to do with Bobby and this last little deal he did, but of course, a coach gets excited, in the heat of the game and stuff, and Coach Knight's probably not any different than any other coaches. He's concerned about his ball players when they get hurt.
Bill, you still shoot a pretty mean stick, a pool? Are you still pretty tough at that?
Well, I play a few games every now and then, yeah.
Well, I've heard from around your friend Ed Colvin says that you were pretty tough, but he of course, Eddie thinks that there's nobody that ever came out of Loogootee any better than him in pool. What do you think about that?
Well, now I can remember when Ed picked his first pool stick up, so you can just kind of take it from there.
Well, you know how they are. The young kids, they look up and see who they have to go to beat to where they got to go with it. So
athletics, even in pool, it's very ego type sport. Everybody, like Junior said, nobody likes to lose.
And also us older guys, and of course I'm in that category now as well. We never like to admit that the younger guys coming up can get anything over on us. Isn't that true?
That's true, but even though they do seem to be a little bit stronger and a little bit better shape and stuff than what we were back then. Of course, we didn't even have a set of weights whenever I played ball in high school. I think it was my freshman year we actually got a barbell. No weight machines or anything like that.
Right. Well, it's a lot of things have changed. It seems to be a lot more money and opportunity for kids than what maybe we had. When we played ball, there was no AAU, nothing to do after the season. You just had to go out and do it on your own or not do it at all.
You played outside in the summertime whenever it was 100 degrees, and you played in the wintertime whenever it was snowing.
That's right. Well, listen, Bill, we're out of time. I wanted to thank you for coming on, and we appreciate you former ball players coming and talking to us. It helps the tradition of Loogootee basketball, and we got a Class A sectional coming up in North Davis, kind of different this year. How do you like Loogootee's chances?
I like Loogootie's chances real well. I think basically everybody has kind of come to the consensus that Bar Reeve and Loogootee are the teams to beat, and of course Loogootee beat Bar Reeve earlier this year. And the boys are playing pretty good ball. If they keep their heads together and play good ball, they can come out of that real nice.
Well, Bill, you take care of yourself. Next time you're in town, look me up. We're right here at the radio station, and we'll see what can happen. All right, bud?
Okay, Larry. I sure appreciate you calling.
All right. You take care of yourself.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.